Good.
Okay.
All right, now I want you guys to close your eyes for me. I'm going to read to you a list of musical genres, and I want you to tell me if this kind of music appeals to you. Rock music. Raise your hand, and keep your hands up, even if you don't like the other ones. Just keep your hands up. Rock music. Pop music. Hip-hop music. Classical music. Keep your hands up and open your eyes. Look around. I will tell you that there is one thing that you all have in common, and that one thing is that there is a Broadway musical out there for all of you based on your musical interests. Broadway musical theater is more relevant and reaching more people today than it ever has before. And in large part, it's because of the diversity of musical genres that we can see in musical theater productions today. I'm very passionate about musical theater. It's something I really like. I see how relevant it is to so many people and how it reaches so many people. And so that's why I want people to know how relevant it can be to them today as it brings people together. Now, I know you know about the history after the informative brief, so I won't bore you all with that. But I do want you to know how old musicals from the past are constantly being performed again, time and time again, and coming back to Broadway. Just recently, we had revivals of the musical Anything Goes and South Pacific open on Broadway. These are musicals that were originally performed in the 1930s and 1940s and have now come back. Now, what's the purpose of doing this? The purpose of doing this is that it continues to reach people. You have the people who grew up listening to this music that might have been around when it first came out. And for them, it creates a nostalgic sense. Imagine if you were flipping through TV and you saw Hey Arnold or Rugrats or some of your old favorite cartoons come on. Think of the memories that would create for you seeing those come back. And that's what happens when these older musicals come back and are performed again on Broadway. As well, it reaches a new generation that may have never heard these musicals before, and they can hear it for the first time. In the New York Times review for South Pacific, the reviewer said, "It is as if a vintage photograph had been restored not with fuzzy, hand-colored prettiness, but with 'you are there' clarity." And in that sense, that clarity is brought forth and brought to a new generation of theatergoers. The same thing has happened with other musicals that have come about, such as Hair, that was performed originally in the 1960s. That's come back again as a revival, again reaching those that were the first ones to hear its music and the ones that have yet to hear the music. And some continue to be so popular, such as Phantom of the Opera that opened in 1988, that continues to be performed today and is now Broadway's longest running musical because it is so popular among audiences and reaching so many people. Now, the musical of our time, the musicals that have come out in the last 5 to 10 years, really represent that whole mixing bowl of diversity of musical genres. Wicked, that came out recently, it's a very popular show, you might have heard of it, has the score to it has a very more orchestral, a little bit more classical feel. And Spider-Man, that's opening soon, the score is composed by Bono, so of course it has the popular rock feel. American Idiot is based off the music of Green Day. I don't think I need to say much more about that. But all of this represents how diverse musical theater is today. All these shows have just come out in the last couple of years and are appealing to so many more people than they were when they originally came out. Now, producers know that it's not always about the music that's going to get someone in the door to see musical theater. So another reason why it is so popular and so relevant to people today is because they've taken Hollywood actors that have great name recognition, and they've put them in musicals, such as Daniel Radcliffe, who's famous for the Harry Potter series, is now starring in a musical. Catherine Zeta-Jones was in one on Broadway last year. As well, just a couple weeks ago, there was a concert performance of the musical Company that featured Neil Patrick Harris and Stephen Colbert. Again, names that you wouldn't normally associate with musical theater. But they have crossed the divide, and they have performed in it. Now, not all people think that this is a good thing for musical theater. In one New York Times article, they said that beautiful singing voices are rare and particular gifts, and musically exciting performances are among the vital elements that contributed to the growth and power of the American musical. That quote is in reference to the author's opinion that these stars aren't contributing to that. I disagree with that. Catherine Zeta-Jones won the Tony Award for her performance, so obviously you have to know what you're doing if you're going to win the Tony Award. You have to know what you're doing when it comes to singing. As well, I feel that even if there is a little bit of lower quality in their music, the fact that they're bringing people in to see musical theater and people that are enjoying it And it's people that would have never gone to the theater before, and they're coming because they know this person, they recognize their name. It out-trumps anything else, anything that could be a negative aspect of that, because you have people coming to see musical theater that have never seen it before and may never have gone to see it. But don't rely on just what I have to say to convince yourself. Look at these statistics. They come from the Broadway League's website, which manages all of the Broadway shows. These are the statistics just for the touring productions. And, oops, it looks like I got cut off there. But you can see at the top, in the most recent attendance ratings, it's at an all-time high. Just looking at the past 10 seasons of Broadway, we've had an all-time high. And this is just for touring productions, so those that have been seen outside of New York City. Again, far-reaching, because these are the people that might not normally have had the chance to go to see a Broadway show because of their distance from New York. On Broadway, although this last season wasn't quite the pinnacle of attendance, you can still see, looking at the past 2 decades, the growing trend in attendance rates for Broadway shows. And I believe this is in large part, to what musical theater has done and reaching and becoming more relevant to more people than ever before. And as well, just another side note, as of January this year, the Broadway performance season runs from about May to May. And as of January, so about halfway through the season for this year, they said that attendance was already up 3.8% over last season's attendance. So it looks like our attendance for this season will be even higher than this. Very promising. Let me ask you something. Who here has seen a Broadway show? Who here, keep your hand up if you remember what that show was. Who here remembers who you saw it with? Exactly. Broadway, seeing a Broadway musical has the great ability to bring people together and create memories. And it's doing this more so today than it ever has before. And my challenge to you is to try it. There's so many different opportunities in the DC area that offer student tickets and offer Broadway touring shows and even professional productions that are grown locally here. I challenge you to go see a Broadway musical. You're guaranteed to find one you like. Take a family member, take a friend, and you're guaranteed to make memories that will last a lifetime, and you're guaranteed to like the show.